Everyone, it's Coffee Stitcher. It is week 2 of Mania. Sorry, that was more slurpy than I meant. Different mug today. The Stitchy Box one is in the dishwasher. So how's everybody's week? I had a stressful week. This time not related to fabric and floss. This time actually related to real life. We had a family emergency on Tuesday, and I had a rough Monday at work, so some things didn't get as much done as I would have liked, but that's okay. So today I do have some haul. I have some Q&A, of course, and I have my whips as well as my plans for the week. I'll also do sort of my initial response to Mania. Probably next week will be more of my thoughts. Alright, so let's dive in with the Q&A. Let's get down to the bottom. Okay. I like how many people are like, yeah, go you with the changes to the Harry Potter. I don't know, I love Cloud's Factory, and I understand there are a lot of things they don't do because they're either trying to be not simplistic, but on the more affordable end, and because if they get too detailed, then they really start running aground with copyright, which is its own thing. Don't even get me started. But one of the things I do love about them is they are easy to adapt if you want them to be more detail-specific. So, and I like it better than Frosted Pumpkin because while I did love Frosted Pumpkin when I was really still doing a lot of them, it seemed like absolutely everything needed changing. Whereas with these, it's just occasional color correction, or things I'm adding that don't really need to be added, but I can if I want to. Like, for instance, on Scooby-Doo, I added the French knot because I wanted it to look like a scarf. Ooh, that's not a big change. So, you know, it's that sort of thing. Let's see. And Chelsea has a question, but it might be 2. And yes, asking questions and comments is best. How do stitch on a large piece of fabric that is too big for a scroll frame and would probably cramp my hand if I stitched it freehand? It's 60 by 48 for, oh god, that's huge. Ooh. What I use Q-snaps primarily, and I'll hold up my big one since that's the one that's in range. Hey, look, it's like I'm inside of a box. Inside of a box. Because the nice thing with a Q-snap is you can take the fabric, roll it up, and put a couple of hair clips, which mine have all broken, so I need to buy new hair clips, and I never remember when I'm at the store to buy hair clips. But then you can clip it, and that keeps it pretty contained. I know there are some people who are doing the big Sistine Chapel, that's on like 10 yards of fabric that I would love to do one day, but I don't think I probably ever will. And for that, what I have to do as well with my In the Fairy Tales book, I basically just have to let it drape off. And just work with what I've got and clamp what I can. So there's not really a good way. I know you can get ridiculously huge scroll frames, I think primarily for things like quilting, but I use a Q-snap because I find those easier than scroll frames, mostly because I'm lazy and don't like basting. And I'm cheap. So I haven't bought one of, like, a Loctite. And part of the problem as well is it seems like I can get a frame, but to get the size I need, it's ridiculous. So I'll stick with my Q-snaps for now. I've got a lap stand that I sort of Frankensteined from a universal stand and a lap stand that will hold a clamp, but I have a lot of trouble getting it to balance right. Probably because I Frankensteined it and it's not the way it was intended to be used, but that might make it easier. Jazz hands for Laurel Ann. E.F. Bauer, I really liked using the shadow box. I will probably use more. Jan 128, or 1228 asks, is that Agnes Moorehead in Bewitched? It is. Because she... Okay, so in, I believe it's German tradition, there's a thing called a kitchen witch. And the way it was explained to me, so if I'm wrong, I'm going just off how it was explained to me, is it's a little plush witch that you hang in your kitchen, and she's supposed to be good luck so that your food is always good. So she's my stitching witch. She makes sure all my stitching is good. A special spot where I like to sit and stitch, mostly it's the love seat. I do still love my chair, but we still don't have another chair in here yet for him to sit and read. So until we accomplish that, I stitch in there so that I can still be around him. As I earlier said, I prefer Q-snaps. I do use hoops, depending on, like, if it's a really small project, I'll use hoops, because sometimes, because a 6x6 cross Q-snap is sometimes ridiculous. I have cobbled together a 6x8 Q-snap, and I use that on anything that's like a fat 32nd. But if it's small, then I don't. Oh, crap. I realized I have one piece of haul that is in the closet. I'll have to grab that. And have you ever started a Haid design? I own one Haid. I have never started it. It terrifies the crap out of me. Char Ferrone, or Cher. I'm gonna guess Char, though. Like short for Charlene. If it's wrong, I apologize. Where do you buy your cloth in such large size? I got the cloth for Harry Potter at Hobby Lobby. And that's, I think, probably going to be your best bet for finding the really big pieces. Solar Stitches. I know about the Amazon ones, but those are really flimsy cardboard. The ones I use are made out of chipboard, and they're available from Yarn Tree. Tishvi, that's good to know about 12x21 perf paper. That's very good to know. Alright. Betsy Nelson, I'm guessing your question is that you're doing the 10x10 method of stitching, however there's a ridge where these stitches of each block meets. Have you ever had this happen? I think I am going back to doing all one color at a time. I'm sure the block method is good for some, but it sure isn't working on this hand-dyed Ada. What I'm guessing is you're saying where the blocks come together, there's a little ridge. I have seen that happen. What I tend to do if I'm working on and I don't do a lot of full coverage pieces, but if I'm doing a full coverage piece and I'm not finishing out a section, because I try and section them as much as possible, what I'll do is I'll sort of zigzag it a little bit, so it's not exactly a straight line. It prevents it. The ridge may still show up, but because it's in a wavy line, your eye doesn't draw to it like it does when it's a straight line. I don't do the 10x10 method for that reason. Tamara-Mini X Stitcher, Stitchybox, www.stitchybox.com. That's where you find them. 603 Stitcher, do you know of a good reference guide for hair color conversion? There is one posted in the Joan Elliott Facebook group. I don't know where the link to it is now, but Crisscross Stitcher found it. But that's the only one I know of that's really good. Alright, welcome Crafty Angie. Alright, so that ends the Q&A. Let me grab that one little bit of haul that I forgot. Okay. Sorry about that. I put it up because I was trying to be organized. I was trying to pick my general area up, and I just put it away instead of putting it in the haul. Okay, so I got the last part of the Little Help from My Friend Club from Silver Needle. I'm strongly considering doing next year's. I just have to figure out if it's financially doable or not. This one was from Lizzie Kate. They also included... Oh, crap, and I left that. I'll remember that next time. It came with... Not only did it come with a mug that they say don't put in the dishwasher, so it's just going to be a display mug, because ain't nobody got time to hand wash mugs. It also came with this really cool... It's a round tape measure, but it's got a crocheted flower all around it. It's really cute. And then it came with... This one's called Stitch With Me from Lizzie Kate. And you make a needle, or not a needle roll, but a strawberry, like, pin cushion, and a little thingy, and a little pillow. So that's what it came with. On some really pretty blue fabric that is not named. Unfortunately. So I have no idea what it is, but it was a Lizzie Kate. So that was the end of this club. I really did enjoy it. And like I said, I'm strongly considering doing next year if it's in the cards. Alright, so then I got my order from Brooks Books. It was split across two, so I got the 4 Little Women charts. So here is Meg, Amy, Beth, and Joe. And currently, I don't know how I will be stitching them up. They may be on perforated paper. I like using the perforated paper for Brooke's stuff, because she designed so well for it. I got another package of brown, because I always need more brown. I got Sophronia, the Steampunk Witch. Isn't she awesome? I'm super excited for her. And then I got the 3 Alice in Wonderland charts that are available so far. So here's Alice, and the Mad Hatter, and the White Rabbit. So they very well may be my part of my Brooks Stitch Along next year. I've decided, as well as this one's going, if this continues going well, I'm just going to start doing an annual Brooks Book Stitch Along for myself. So as long as she keeps designing, I'll keep stitching. Where's my coffee? There's my coffee. Alright, now for the last little bit of... one was a birthday gift from Brenda Greer. It's... First, there's a chart. It is from Amy Brukin Designs. Less bitching, more stitching. Very apropos. And then she sent me 2 little needle minders, a cute coffee cup, and a button that says, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. Because, hello. And then I got my order from Nifty Needle Nannies. So, I ordered from her The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and The Wizard of Oz. And I actually really like that it's the annotated Wizard of Oz, because I really loved the cover on that edition. I can actually see it from here. And then she also sent me this little Kermit as a birthday present. Isn't that cute? It's a Kermit! So I hope they make a Miss Piggy like this too, because I definitely like the ones like this, and if there's a Miss Piggy one, hell yeah. But no, I love it, and I like that the little books actually open, because I guess they were meant to be lockets, but, you know, there you go. So, that was the haul. Alright, so let's move into Stitch Mania. So Sunday, I worked on my first Jeanette Douglas. The problem is, I keep wanting to call her Jeanette MacDonald, because the old movie actress, did all the Elsa and Nettie movies, the operettas. I keep wanting to call her Jeanette MacDonald. It's Jeanette Douglas. Probably going to do that forever. So, I'm doing definitely the specialty stitch one, which is the one pictured here. The non-specialty stitch one is there. So, I started with the middle. I almost finished the center part. But here it is. It's 1/1. It's a whole mixture of different flosses. I'm actually using my Stitchy Box palette. Fun factoid, Friends is done entirely in one, well, it's all 1/, or it's all just 1/2, or in the case of the RIENDS, 1/1, but that's all one piece of floss. Because they gave me a really long piece, and I was worried about colors lining up, so it's just like, you know what, we're gonna just do it with one long strand, and then I'll start over. And I got through the entire thing. I barely had enough. I was really being a penny pincher, if you will, with my floss. So, I did get the flowers done, and I got the heart done, so all that's really left in the center are the leaves. And then I can start the specialty stitches. So, I was having an absolute blast with this one, though. This was a lot of fun to do. So, there's that one. It's on 32 count lamb's wool by Witchelt. And like I said, it's got all sorts of things. It's got Thread Gatherer, Excess Commodities, NPI, Gloriana. So it's a fun one. I'm enjoying it for sure. Day 2 was Get Crackin'. So there's the chart. I'm doing it on 32 count Misty Rain by Die Stitch Love, 1/2, all with the Gloriana. So far I haven't made any changes. But I also didn't get very far, because, like I said, I didn't have a very good day at work, and I just I was in a very blah mood Monday. So, I got the beginning parts of the first word done. So, there you go, and I've got an Arial needle minder. I've kind of noticed on the small ones, I don't tend to use my needle minders as readily, because they take up so much space on the fabric. Alright. Day 10 was Hocus Pocus by Clouds Factory. I'm doing it on 32 count Demeter's Harvest by Die Stitch Love. And I'm using Victoria Motto sampler threads in colors close to the DMC. I also have been working on this one. This one's my launch project. I've gotten really bored of Scream House. I'm not enjoying it that much anymore. So I've kind of put it to the side for now. So here is what I got done. I got Melica Mystica, and then I started on the top Ichtacopita. So that's where I'm at. It's a good one for work at lunch, simply because it's not overly involved. And I'm using B. Arthur, because I don't have a Hocus Pocus minder. Alright, the next was my only Brooks books for this one. Oh, okay, that's for that one too. And it is Pinky the Peppermint Angel, who I've also sort of renamed Bernadette Peters. So this was the 11th. So there she is. I started down here in the white of the skirt. So that's where that is. I'm probably about halfway through the skirt. So, I didn't get very far, but that's okay. I will keep plodding away at her. Okay. Then next was Spring Delivery from Plum Street Samplers. This is on 32 count Buttercup by Under the Sea Fabrics. And I'm using the DMC instead of the Classic Colorworks. So I started there, and I got the horse's tail done. So by and large, I had plans for each day of Mania, like goals on the project, where I wanted to get. So there's the tail with Sailor Moon. So again, I will just keep working on that. I'm not sure when I'll come back to this one. I enjoyed it, but not quite as much as some of my other Plum Streets. Alright, then the next one is Worlds I Live In, which is by Margaret, also known as Stitching Panda. And all I got done was I got one line. This was Friday. I got Per the Border started for Neverland. I'm not sure. Oh, and I'm using my cute little Snow White needle minder that Kate Lantry gave me. So I will definitely be going back to this one. I just didn't get very long Friday to work. We ended up, because of the issues earlier this week, we ended up doing our grocery shopping on Friday night, and then we watched Crimson Peak, which was good but long and a little slow. So by the time we got done, I was sort of too tired to really stitch. Alright, the next day was Wonderland the Game by Prairie Moon on 32 count Fairy Whispers by Die Stitch Love. So here's where it is. It's all charted in NPI silks, and because NPI, requires like 17 of them, and since NPI is $4 to $5 a skein, depending on where you go, I was like, no, I'll do the DMC on this. Well, then I started stitching it, and I got, because I started in the middle, I got part of Alice done, and it looked awful. Like, it looked god-awful. And I went, you know what? I can take this, and I can choose different colors that will look more like they would in the book. Because I do like the colors that were chosen for it by the designer, but I think since I'm not doing the NPI, I'm just going to go rogue. So I chose completely different colors. Because the DMC conversion that she had sucked. What the hell is going on here? How did this happen? Hang on, sorry, I apparently had a needle malfunction. Let's pull that down here a little bit. That should do. Okay. So, for her dress, I used 2 shades of blue. I used DMC 794 and 799. Her skin, which hasn't been done yet, is in 945 and 950. Her hair, which also isn't done yet, is 676 and 677. The apron and her stockings are 3033 and 3866. And then her shoes are 310 and 317. So that's where she is, and I'm using a Mad Hatter hat, steampunk hat, from Rotromantic Fripperies. So there's where I am on her now. So, it's one I'm enjoying, and I will definitely go back to. So, and I have no idea what I'll do for the rest of the colors yet. And then finally, today was the Teresa Winsler Noah's Ark on just generic 28 count even weave. My goal for today was just to get one of the corner blocks done. I'm not doing the back stitching on it. The chart itself, I'm one of those that I feel like sometimes outline backstitch for borders is stupid. Like, I think it looks fine and doesn't really need it. So, there it is. I don't think I'm going to backstitch it, because I think I like the slightly more delicate look that it'll have. Obviously, on, like, the animals, I'll want the backstitch, but I think otherwise I'm just going to leave the backstitch alone. Also, I wish my Lazy Daisies looked like the model. I'm not very good with Lazy Daisies, but there we go. So that's it. Yep. I'm definitely enjoying it. I definitely look forward to getting back to it. I don't quite know when I'll go back to it, but I will be going back to it for sure. It was definitely a very enjoyable start, at least. So, by and large, I haven't really had any from Mania I didn't like. One of the most fun parts about this was getting to start new things every day, and just try things out. I haven't really found anything that I didn't love. So my next step is gonna be either today or maybe tomorrow or sometime before the next week. Go through, look at my whips, and decide what needs to be done from there. June is, of course, Wine and Whips. My goal for that is to finish Blue Jeans and Daisies. And then probably start focusing on the Leslie Tier Wizard of Oz. And just kind of work my way from there. So we're gonna finish out this month. We've got my Sal's still, so I've got to finish The Cowardly Lion, which, for those who don't remember, I'm actually probably a little over halfway on him. Here's where I'm at. So I'm going to try and get him finished up here in the next couple of days. Then I'll do my Clouds Factory, Magical Creatures, and then I'll start in on postcards. After that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and finish up a couple of my Mania starts. I feel like, if any, should be able to finish up Scooby-Doo. I don't think that'll be a major difficulty. Beyond that, I'm not sure. And then we'll start in June. So that's the current plan. I really enjoyed doing Mania this year. Starting 15 things was definitely a challenge, especially when it was like, but I really like working on this one, I don't want to stop. That being said, towards the end, I started to get antsy and get ready to go back to my rotation. So, next year what I may do is, well, I may not, hopefully I won't be doing 3 stitch-alongs that are monthly. I'm hopefully just going to be doing the one. I think that's part of it, is I'm just antsy about my stitch-alongs. But I think next year, depending on the number of stitch-alongs I'm doing, I may scale it back and do 10 new starts instead of 15. But we'll see. We'll see. Anything could happen between now and then. So yeah, so my plan for this week, finish Lion, finish May of Magical Creatures, and maybe finish May of postcards. Definitely have it all finished by the end of next week. So yeah. Alright, well, I think that just about takes care of everything. Today is L. Frank Baum's 160th birthday, so happy birthday to the creator of Oz. And happy what would have been my 30th birthday if I hadn't forced my way out of my mother's body 2 weeks early. So. Alright, well, that's about it. I guess I will see you all next week.